Hey, Treva, can you hear me?
Please share. You said this in your phone. You said yes.
No, I did not.
South.
Can you hear me now?
Years ago, like it's 82 was having there. But no, you wouldn't even have anything said.
No, nothing much.
Just living the dream.
Yeah. Go to work, come home, eat, sleep, repeat.
Did Tim Tyler move to mountains? No.
No. No, he's still up.
That's what I thought. I drove around and seen his truck the other morning, but I wonder if he switched.
No,
I talked to him.
he got a good one too.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well. I like it.
Oh,
You know, like brickwork at my house. This.
Oh, really?
When he was like, yeah.
yeah. He's a great PE teacher.
Okay, at 6 o'clock, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. A roll call for the council, please.
Smith,
Here.
Anderson,
Here.
Arsenault,
Here.
Burbank, here, Ferguson, here, Bender, absent, Councilmember Green is on Zoom.
Here,
Perfect.
Move
Okay.
to excuse Councilmember Bender.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay, do we have any additions, deletions, corrections this evening?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
The delay is gonna get me here. Okay. Just so everybody knows where our television,
The HDMI ports are not
Yeah.
working today.
so we don't have that, but it's still being recorded for online. With that, we'll have round of public comment. Up to 3 minutes apiece. I have Natasha. Would you like to go now or at the end? Later, okay. And I had the sheet before you guys came in. Did you want to speak now or okay. Anybody else? Anybody like to speak? Wait till the end. Okay. All right, for the mayor's report tonight, all I have is another announcement like last week for the tree lighting is 5 PM on the 29th uptown, of course. And with that, we'll move into the consent agenda.
On tonight's consent agenda, you will notice some minutes from 2024. We somehow missed bringing these to council for adoption. Approved minutes of the July 2nd, 2024 City Council Study Session, approved minutes of the December 3rd, 2024 City Council Study Session, and approved minutes of the October 14th, 2025 City Council meeting and October 28th, 2025 City Council meeting.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
All right, tonight we have public hearing, so it is 6:03. We'll adjourn the council meeting at 6:03 and then we'll re-adjourn afterwards. We don't have to give a time.
No, just when we read.
Okay. All right, and then we have Finance Director Hines here.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight is our public hearing on the mid-biennial budget update. Last week, we just did the revenue hearing. Tonight is the required hearing on the whole biennial budget update. We did have a very short presentation, but that's okay. We'll just talk through it. It's mostly just the information that was in your packet. Just wanted to go through those for the public hearing as far as what the adjustments are. Overall, we did salary and wage adjustments and benefit adjustments across all funds and all personnel for new information based on the police 1-year contract extension and new medical rates from our providers. So those were updated across all areas. In the general fund, mostly expenses increases to recognize things that have happened with and some that are coming up. We have increasing recognizing the 50,000 from Pierce County that was for the Pierce Transit Connector during the bridge and other bridge related expenses. Increasing audit costs, 22-23 audit continued into the beginning of 25. And so we were increasing the budget to cover that, as well as now that we know the cost for the full year of 24's audit going on right now, we updated the budget for next year for 25. And by the way, the audit is still on track, hopefully to be closing out in December. So that will be good news. Legal increase by 25,000 for personnel issues and upcoming contract negotiations. Jail by 38,000 for greater than planned jail costs and medical costs that were billed for. In the fire department, increasing by 178,000 in 25 and 62,000 in 26 for salaries, overtime, and benefits. In the building department, increasing professional services by 75,000 for inspection services. That's due to related development activity. So with that development activity going up, the increased inspections. And then in the planning department, 90,000 for external consultants related to the comp plan, the additional things that the Department of Commerce required. And 25,000 in professional services for third-party review. Again, that's related to current development activity. That is recouped 100% by the developers. We pass those third-party consultant costs on to them, and they pay the city back for those. Increasing in non-departmental for latecomer agreements, both revenue in and expenditures out. Those are hard to plan for. So as those get paid, the latecomer agreements, and we have to pay the developer back their share. So we're just budgeting for those. On the senior center, we talked a little bit the other day, we're decreasing funding at this point for the community development block grant, as Pierce County and the federal government are working out their issues on the granting. We're waiting to see how that comes out. Director Snodgrass is trying to find alternative funding for the senior center. And the youth center increasing 20,000 for both revenue and expenses for increased grant revenue on the youth center side. One added since our meeting, the presentation on the 17th that the council had given direction for was use of interest from the cumulative reserve for funding in the general fund to cover costs in the fire department and then in the EMS fund. So that transfer has been added to the adjustments. In the street fund, 45,000 for the striping project. In the EMS fund, increased 29,525 and 49,526 for staffing and overtime. There was an emergency heat pump replacement out of Fund 124 at this fire station. And then Fund 136, which is visitor promotion, the LTAC funding, just increased what we had budgeted as a placeholder during the original budget. We are increasing that by 17,029 for the amount that is being recommended by the LTAC committee. Both Fund 307 and 308 are just recognizing carryovers, projects that weren't completed last year and carrying over the budget for this year. Fund 402, some additional funding, 14,000 for increased water testing needs. And then adding a new project in 26, the AWIA Risk and Resiliency and Emergency Response Update. That plan has to be reviewed and updated every 5 years. So that's 17,000 for that project next year. Adding equipment budget, a capital equipment budget in Fund 430 for 50,000 for a multifunction mower that will be funded out of parks, streets, water, and stormwater. And then Fund 631 Municipal Court and Fund 632 Custodial Activities. Those are kind of pass-through funds. The court fund just recognizes the expenses and the revenue that are activities through the court. And then the custodial activities recognizes revenue and expenses for things that we collect, like the state's portion of the concealed pistol licenses or the court revenue that comes in through that fund and back out to whoever it belongs to. So that is the list of expenses and revenue changes for the mid-buy. The next steps would be for any council discussion tonight. And then if given council direction, we would bring an ordinance back on December 9th for adoption. And I can answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Any questions from the council before we open it up to the public? And anything?
Okay, thank you.
All right, and with that, we'll open it up to the public for comment on our mid-biennium budget update. As Pat Johnson used to say, don't everybody rush the podium at the same time. Okay, with that, it is 6:09 and we will end the public hearing and restart the city council meeting.
Next on the agenda is ordinance number 13-25, amending Buckley Municipal Code, repealing chapter 2.99 Buckley Community Hall Board.
Move to adopt ordinance number 13-25, repealing Buckley Municipal Code, chapter 2.99 Buckley Community Hall Board.
Second.
Okay.
If you have questions, we can answer. Treva noticed this in the code. We were surprised it was still there. It's really housekeeping. We took it to the commission for review. We adopt the rates, fees, and everything now through the city budget and processes. So it's really obsolete, and that's why we're bringing the code update to you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Director. I had Hines on here, but Snodgrass was here.
Oops, sorry.
That's all right. I was like, wait a minute. All right. Any questions, comments, concerns from council? Brandon online? Okay. This will be a roll call vote.
Smith.
Aye.
Burbank. Aye. Ferguson. Aye. Anderson.
Aye.
Arsano.
Yes.
Green.
Aye.
Motion carries.
All right, and with that, we'll move into staff reports. We've got LTAC funding discussion and Director Hines here. At least that's what I have from the sheet.
Yeah, she's happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Amanda.
Okay, well, I asked for this to be brought back up, based on what we had discussed at our study session and what was in our packet about the BDA asking for the metal mural project. And then hearing then from representatives from BDA that they were further along and that they had everything ready, they were just waiting for funding. I'm curious then why it was turned down, what further along meant in the description. that was put in our study session packet, or what was on the application that made the LTAC committee think that they weren't far enough along, is because when I read for not far enough along, that made me think it wasn't ready to go, and then hearing what they said, that tells me it was, so I'm just confused.
Yep, and they just wanted some clarification as well. And it was the Historical Society that asked, or was it BDA? I can't.
They-
BDA, okay, all right. Okay, Denise,
So I can help to answer what the commission was thinking. So on the application, it showed metal mural project printing and installation cost. Then it showed metal mural project permitting fees and metal mural project research, website creation, etc. So it didn't seem like that they knew where they wanted to put them. They hadn't gotten any kind of okay on putting them in place. So we didn't have any more information showing that they did. So, to the commission, it was a unanimous vote to the commission. They just weren't far enough along to request the money, because if they don't get if they don't get approval, then what would they do with that money? So, we just didn't feel like we had enough information showing that they were far enough along.
So would that be a flaw in like our application process then? Because, or that maybe that, I'm just curious, I mean, it doesn't, if I don't know what the application looks like, or if they have to type anything, or if there's anything where they have to explain further, because yes, just looking at that information isn't this, I don't know, it doesn't seem like very much information to go off of whether you're approving or not funding.
Right. So the application that all applicants have to fill out has just a basic page of information about the agency, project title, amount of funding requested, who they're targeting, kind of what season the tourism is, some estimates on the head counts. And then there's a series of questions that they have to answer.
Okay.
The first one being identify the specific tourism audience / market located more than 50 miles from Buckley that your organization will target with these funds.
Okay.
So that's the first question. The second question is describe in detail the tourism promotion activities that will be performed or provided with the funding requests that specifically target the tourism audience and market listed in question 1 above. Be very specific. If funded, you will be held to this plan by a written contract. Then the next, so those two kind of talk about which market and group you're trying to target more than 50 miles away, and what activities are you doing to target that group.
Okay.
The third question is what tools will you use to measure your event and project's impact on tourism in Buckley. Next question is describe how you will encourage support of Buckley's business, restaurants and retail. And then the last one is if your organization collaborates with other organizations such as the chamber or other local business Buckley agencies, please describe how. So BDA did type out quite a bit for some of those answers. I'll just read this one section that relates to the mural project specifically, because it's under tourism related facility. It says people of the Plateau Metal Mural Project partnered with the Foothills Museum. This project will include a total of 6 large metal murals located throughout town that highlight our town's rich history and culture. The murals will be linked together as a historical walk, complete with an orated explanation of the significance of each photo chosen for the metal murals. Our first in the series was installed this past summer and can be viewed at 691 Main Street. These walking tours have been proven as a successful tourist attraction in other cities throughout the Northwest as people go from city to city completing each walking tour. The photos are chosen from the museum archives and the narration lives on the museum's website. So that was the explanation of the project. And I think just going off of what Councilmember Bergerson said was, I think the committee, from what I remember, was that maybe there wasn't enough information. It didn't talk about where the other metal mural projects were going to be, what other businesses in town maybe had been talked to about. any type of permitting with the city, if there was any related to that. And so those bits of information weren't in there. And so we weren't sure that those had been done.
So is there a spot for them to put that, or how would they know that they need, I mean, how would they know that they need to include all, I'm trying to think how to clarify. How would they know where to put all that information?
In the description of the project.
Okay,
Just
like
they-
if they give like look fors or examples, like please include where this is like, I'm just trying to. I don't know. It's not anybody's fault. I'm just
Mhm.
asking based on what the what the questions are asking and what they wrote. And then what's not in there, I don't see how they would know where to put it in to know that that was also needed, I guess is what I'm asking.
I think I'll just say from my understanding of what the conversation was, is just in that second question where it talked about describe in detail the promotion activities that will be performed or provided and be very specific, was that the council wasn't, I guess, not the council, the committee, wasn't clear, thinking that if those details weren't listed, like we've already talked to these businesses and these were where they'll go and here's how we're going to market it to, who is it going to be marketed to bring people in from 50 miles farther outside, or is it really only going to be seen by people driving through Buckley that are local? And just kind of the how is it really going to impact the tourism? What are they going to do specifically to make it be a tourist activity versus just nice history downtown? And be able to, what are they going to do to draw in people from out, how are you going to get them here to view it as a tourist attraction?
I think that's probably some of the frustration, from people that applied was the geofencing, but that's as the slang that I'm familiar with is the heads in beds.
Mhm.
That is the goal, of course, of this project, which is a very worthwhile project, is eventually to get people to come to Buckley. Will they stay overnight for this? Maybe, maybe not, that type of thing.
Right.
It's hard to judge that. In addition to the permitting, as probably was kind of a red flag, like, oh, hold on, you guys, whoever
Permitting
owns
is
X business, they need to give the A-OK, which I would think most,
Right.
if not all, are in favor of, but a few little missing pieces, and how does that relate to the tourism? Because the geofencing, like, hold on a minute, we're sending money over to Enumclaw
Yeah.
for this, but that they
Right.
can show where they're drawing people in for X event, and Enumclaw can't carry the whole load with their motels and Airbnbs and so on and so forth. So they, of course, they'll
So that's
spill
what
over to
comes-
Buckley and
right.
they try to route people through Buckley on their way to the King County, all of that stuff. So there's a lot of little missing pieces. Once you get the whole picture, it's still messy.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where the LTAC money comes from, is from heads in beds.
Right.
So, that's ultimately what they're trying to do. Of course, we're hoping that they go to the shops in town and the restaurants in town as well, to help our business community. But where it shows research, and then permitting, it was like they just didn't look that they were far enough along to use that money at this time.
And some of this is a learning curve. For the next round,
Mm-hmm.
this will, we know we will check that box next time or what have you, but that's what they're mostly asking for too, this is all good discussion for the
Mhm.
feedback.
Perfect discussion.
Well,
Is
so
it-
then my follow-up is then and I understand where the money's coming from and the idea is heads and beds, but then if we have like the Veterans Memorial and that's memorial while operating expenses, how is that also bringing people into Buckley and staying overnight? I mean, you could argue the same.
Mhm.
I'm just putting it out. I mean,
Mhm.
I get the log show, some of them are very like obvious things, but and I'm not saying money shouldn't go to the Veterans Memorial. I'm just saying, how is that one justified that that's bringing people in and putting heads in beds and the murals wouldn't be, I guess is what I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one that feels, I don't know. I'm just curious about a lot of things.
Mackenzie.
Just speaking on behalf of conversations I hear at Citizens Advisory Commission, I do feel like this group is further along just because we did approve their first one. And I feel like they have identified the other buildings in the city and have found photos. So I can advocate for them on that. I would agree with Amanda that it's honestly, if I were a part of that group, I would be very discouraged that we asked for X amount. Every other group almost on this list that I'm looking from our notes got their full funding and they were not. And I get in your guys' defense of like lack of description. But I know a lot of these people in this association, it's an unpaid staff. Like they are doing so many other things in our city too, holding bunco nights, holding cardinal, like, and I know that might not have been on their application, but I would be very discouraged. And I feel like we should, if I don't even know if we can look at this again, but I would want to, just because I would be discouraged.
Okay. Tom.
Was there, forgive me if I have misplaced this in my CPU, was there a window where they had to file for the LTAC funding?
Yeah.
Yes,
And if so, okay, so that window is now closed.
yes.
When is the next window open?
So here's what we can do. If council wants, they can decide to change the amount. And then it goes back to the commission. And then it would come back to council again.
They can change the amount up or down, ask for a different amount, and then it can be relooked at by the LTAC commission.
Correct.
We just
Correct.
can't add another, we can't add anything else.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
can't.
you can't add any
Another-
other
Request for change in-
agencies, but you can change,
Yes,
you can
correct.
say that you would like to change the amount, make that recommendation back to the committee.
Okay.
And then it will go to the committee and then come back to you again.
Yeah.
What's the proper process for that, Trina?
Well, you guys
I
haven't
know.
adopted any
Yeah.
LTAC funding or approved any LTAC funding for this cycle yet. So right now, it's just basically what you guys give Sandy and Denise direction to take back to the LTAC.
Yeah, you could just give us direction. We would basically take back and see if we can meet with the LTAC committee prior to the December 9th meeting in order to bring back a change at that. If for some reason that isn't possible, we just wouldn't we wouldn't approve any of the LTAC funding grants in whole. And then probably would have to do it come, January as a special adjustment type of thing. So,
Okay,
yeah.
okay, sorry to catch
No.
up guard. That just so,
Yeah.
we don't need a vote, just kind of
No,
a
it's just-
nod of what.
the council just needs to decide if it would like it to go back to the committee with a different recommendation for
And-
funding on this particular one or any of them, what that would be, so we can take it back to the
And
committee.
BDA can provide more information in that time frame as well.
Yeah, the
Okay.
LTAC
I mean, if
committee,
they can change the number, they can.
well, they can't necessarily ask for anything different than they asked for.
Right.
Only the council can say, we would like to recommend a different funding amount than what the committee provided you.
Okay,
And then the committee,
But we can ask for more detail.
we can ask for more
Yeah.
detail or from the organization, yeah.
yeah, okay.
I would like to ask for more money. I don't know how much it would, I don't know what the cost is for that. And if that's something that the committee is hesitant about, then I would also just like justification about the memorial events, how that puts heads in beds if they're not going to give more money to the mural project.
The total amount that they requested for the metal mural project, is trying to do math quick in my head, is about 10,200
Okay.
of their total ask. was
Because they
that.
were given a certain amount, just not enough to cover that.
Right, they were given
Never-
funding for two other pieces in their application, but not for that particular project. And the amount that they asked for the metal mural project was a roughly 10,200.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so is,
I just think 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, yeah.
so is anybody on council, Brandon, you'll have to chime in here, but anybody on council, opposed to the applicant giving more information to LTAC and then relooking at that?
Nope, I support that.
Okay,
So can I make a comment?
yep, absolutely.
Just a thought here. I'm the furthest thing from an expert on LTAC. But maybe as part of next year's application process, we include what a successful application looks like. Just a template, not using anybody's business name, not using, John Doe, blah, 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 blah. What does that look like to give to these applicants so that they kind of have an example of what a successful application looks like to help streamline this process?
Are you volunteering for that?
No,
I'm just wondering where we're going with
just
that.
throwing it out.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds like a great idea.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, Chris. Yeah.
Okay, all right, then we will make that happen. All right,
So,
oh, yes, please.
does the council have an amount that they are recommending back to the committee that they would like to change the funding to?
I would say it's whatever they requested to finish the metal mural.
Okay.
Project.
But I do also, sorry to jump in, I do also just looking at some of the things listed in their application, like porta potty rental, they do hold things down.
And they were funded for the porta potty rental for the 3,000 and they were funded for 10 additional A
Okay.
boards for 1,000.
Yeah.
That they
I just
talked
wanna
about
make
being to
sure
put
that
those out
that
of the city.
also is included, not just going back, okay, no, you're
Oh.
just getting the metal
No,
mural.
Right.
On top of,
Yeah.
yeah,
In addition to,
in addition
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
all right, thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, council.
Okay, City Administrator Banks,
I don't have
no update.
a lot to update, just everyone have a happy Thanksgiving.
You want to touch on what Dom's got coming next round?
Yeah, I can briefly touch on that. On December 2nd, study session. Dom, our city engineer, is bringing to you folks, basically a status update on the SS4A Safe Streets for All traffic study and what the traffic engineers have found related to all the intersections along Highway 410. Meaning Park and 410, Main Street and 410, SR 165, 410, Hinkleman Extension, and Monday Loss. So I don't know as if I want to get too much in the weeds with what he's going to present, but that's what he's going to present.
Just so people know what they. want
Yeah,
coming.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Chris. All right, with that, we will, I know I had this sheet, I stole the sheet early, so anybody who'd like to speak for 3 minutes or up to 3 minutes. I know Natasha, did you want to go first? Okay.
Hi, my name is Natasha Hackett. I'm here on behalf of the Buckley Downtown Association. It was so hard not to talk as part of that. So I wanted to clarify that last year when we applied for the LTAC, everybody who applied was given 5 minutes to come in for a meeting to answer clarifying questions. I thought that was great. We were able to sit down and get feedback from the LTAC on things that they wanted from us. Last year, they expressed to us that they wanted us to focus on funding outside of our events because they wanted us to prove that we were self-sustaining events. And we took that to heart, changed up our application this year and tried to focus more on these projects. This year, we were not given an opportunity to speak. And so I think that is where maybe some of our frustration and discouragement came from, was that if there were additional questions, we know in the past, we've been given an opportunity to speak and this time we were not. So I would love to see that maybe become part of the process. If the committees have questions, we can clarify. Also with that application, because we ask for multiple things, maybe we can get clarification on whether or not we should be submitting separate applications so that we can further go into detail on each item that we're requesting. That form is obviously super small. We don't want to inundate anyone with paperwork, but it would be great if we knew if we're asking for multiple projects or funding for different things that we're doing. Obviously, we have our hands in a little bit of everything right now. And so that would help us be sure to get the commission what they need to make it easier for them to work with us in the future. As far as this project goes, we do have the buildings. We've already spoken with property owners. The reason why we had on there that we needed the permitting is because we went through this process with you guys and with the Citizen Advisory Commission. We need to submit a permit for every single building. We can't start submitting those permits and getting that ball rolling if we have no idea whether or not we're ever going to get funding to move forward. We obviously don't want to start projects and not be able to complete them. So I'm not sure if that's something that we can get clarification on as well, is, you know, if there are things that we need to come to the city for, like, how do we ask for funding for something that we don't know? We can't really submit the permits without knowing where the funding is. And I will say that we feel confident in the permits because we have gone through the process before and we do have one on the building. So we feel like we can get through Citizen Advisory Commission and hopefully get the rest of the murals approved based on where we've been in the past. So I think that's it from me right now. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Okay, I don't have anybody else signed up, but Amy, please. I have your name down here because I saw you come in late.
Thank you. Thank you, council, for taking the time to visit and the discussion about the metal photo project. So I wanted to, my name's Amy Boucher Kiss, representing the People of the Plateaus Project. I wanted to read to you so Bill and April Rattray, Scoops owners, one of the photos will be at their location. And so I have, they weren't able to be here tonight because he's working, but this is what he and April wanted to share with you guys. On behalf of Bill and April, Scoops owners. Good evening, council members. On behalf of the Scoop on Main, I want to express our full support for the Buckley Downtown Historical Photo Project. As a business committed to celebrating our community, we believe this initiative adds meaningful value to our downtown core. Displaying historical photos throughout Main Street honors the families, businesses, and moments that shaped Buckley. It creates a sense of connection from residents and visitors, strengthens our town's identity, and enhances the walkability, welcoming feel when we all work hard to maintain. We are proud to participate in this project and have our building included alongside other historic locations. We see this as an opportunity to preserve our shared story, elevate local pride, and contribute to Buckley's ongoing revitalization. Thank you for supporting efforts that celebrate our town's history and bring our community together. And then this is from Brad and Kelsey that owned 691 on Main, the Vanity, which was the first location that we put one of the photos on, and actually is the first building in Buckley, I think, to be on the State Historical Register. Well, that's not the correct flow of the, it's the, anyways, on the registry. And so I'm gonna get back to that. Good afternoon. I just want the city to know how easy of a process it was to get the beautiful mural up for the citizens to learn that our building has the story that our building has to tell. As a building owner, from finding the photo to creating the narrative and installing the metal photo, the process was very painless, simple, with the help of BDA. We greatly appreciate the efforts that were put into this project, and that we aren't only preserving Buckley's history and celebrating community, we're preserving our family's history for generations. We just want to thank the city for the grant and the BDA for all the legwork they've done. And their project specific, because they are on the Historic Register. I'm also a commissioner on the Pierce County Landmarks and Historic Places Commission. And we just went through a grant process for applications. And their building was one that was granted funds for fixing their brick on the side of, sorry,
That's okay.
okay. The brick that's failing on the one side of the
They're
building.
working on it currently.
Right.
Yep.
And, you know, his vision and dream for that is to have a big, like, Welcome Buckley at the top of that, because that's the tallest building that you can see from 410, and really it's like a billboard. And so, you know, because of, again, our efforts of all the time and legwork that we've done to do the research of the history, pull that application together, help them through the process. I mean, that was really the ultimate, like, kind of poster child to show, like, this is what can be done. And, like, let's work with, and part of, you know, the BDA's mission is to, you know, preserve history, and that being a part of, you know, helping people through that process. So like they were granted the funds for that project. BDA also applied for that grant as well. And we were there were 30 applicants and there was only $80,000. And we went through a vigorous process with our commission. And I think it would be a great opportunity if you guys want the contact information to their planner at the county, because they have a really great, they did their online application. They really have kind of nailed it down, and how they do that process, and they bring everybody in, all the applicants, before the commissioners sit down to review the applications, to do like a question, question answer. So it was a really great process. I think it's very helpful as a commissioner being on that to, be able to approve the grants. And it's hard when you have to split funds and only partially fund some projects, but we were able to go through that process and we approved 15 out of the 30, and looking at like being, having equity on the table when we're looking at these projects from a county perspective. So there's a lot that goes into, I think there's just a lot to learn. This is a new process for, I think, Buckley. And I'm so glad that we have a great downtown association that's willing to like really kind of get in the weeds of figuring out, improving these processes so it is easier and it is more clear. So I will send over that information to their contact person. She's actually leaving on December 18th. So
Yeah, Chris.
you want to get in touch with her before that. But so with regards to this specific project, I think definitely being able to have that question and before commission or before decisions are made based on applications is a great addition. And also if funds need to be allocated, like, okay, and one of the grant application questions for ours at Pierce County was if they can receive partial funding, can they still move forward with the project? And that was helpful. So like for us, we asked for that full amount, which was for all 6 murals, not knowing if we were going to get the Pierce County money. Well, we just got that, last 2 weeks ago, a week ago, I think. So I think that with that, we can adjust if we need to help with things. But I think that those conversations at the beginning of those processes are definitely helpful. So I just wanted you guys to know what, we are connected with the owners. We're pretty far along, but, we're kind of at a standstill where in order to get that next step going, we need those funds. And the plan is to get that done this spring and have an unveiling for Historic Preservation Month for our first cruise, which is the end of May. So
Yeah, if you share that with Chris, if you'd share it with the LTAC, if they'd like to go kind of piggyback and watch just things we can do to improve our process or whatever.
Sure. Yep.
thank you very much for letting me go over.
Yeah.
I really took up 3 people's time slot.
Thank you.
Natasha, would you like to say anything else? We have to offer extra time.
No,
Okay.
I think that is good.
Okay.
I actually did think
Yeah.
I should take a couple more minutes, but
Yep.
then I forgot, but never mind.
Yeah, if there's anything else, yes, perfect. Megan, we'd love to hear.
I
from you.
won't take that long.
No, go ahead.
I'm Megan Rhodes with the Foothills Horse Historical Museum. And first, I just wanted to thank you guys all for revisiting this and having the conversation about it. I appreciate it. One of the things, I belong to 2 other groups, both the White River Community Scholarships and then the White River Hometowns Grant. And one of the things that we try to do with both of those is make our scoring rubric clear. And that might be a helpful thing too. I don't actually know if you use a scoring rubric, but the question that Amanda raised about the Veterans Memorial, which is an extremely worthy project, is a good one. And I think a scoring rubric might have made it clear why that one received funding and this one didn't, because they're similar types of projects. So anyway, I just wanted to thank you and say happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Megan. Marvin? Anything? Okay, Lorna?
I agree with Natasha. I think it did.
Mayor, I need her to come. to
Oh,
the
yeah.
microphone if she's gonna speak.
I didn't want to come up, it's laundry day.
Oh, that's all right.
I agree with Natasha. I think that if the committee could bring people in, if you had questions or concerns and let them answer them before you make a decision would be more helpful rather than discouraging.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Okay, Connor? No, Brian? Just checking everybody. All right, council member comments and go to the order, Ron.
Last week or this weekend, I believe, no, Friday, I believe, Friday last week. Couple young men doing young men things up just east of Wilkeson, up the hill. And as it said, he stepped off his motorcycle to take a scenic photo. Whatever he was doing, the ground gave way. It's been raining a lot and went down 200 feet. And the media reports, and you look at Pulse Point, it was a joint effort of Buckley Fire and East Pierce to do a high angle rope removal of that young man who does not remember what happened. He woke up in the hospital. So my hats are off to Buckley Fire with their work with East Pierce to save a life and get that man. And they medevaced him out of Wilkeson Elementary. So I don't know if it's to Harborview or to TG or somewhere to get him some trauma care, but very, very good job. And other than that, I would like to wish my colleagues a very happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Okay, thanks, Ron. Denise?
So, as far as LTAC goes, just a question. Did you say that you did get some money from Pierce County for the mural project? Metal mural project?
We did get some funding, yeah,
Okay,
to support one of them.
okay, so do you know that amount off the top of your head? Because that may make a difference in the amount.
I don't, is it okay if I email it over with any other
Yes,
stuff
yes,
and we can get that number
that would
adjusted?
That would be perfect. Okay. And then I want to thank you ladies for coming up and speaking because this is a fairly new process. And so even our application, it's changed from year to year a little bit. We're trying to tweak it and make it so that it's more understandable for everyone. And the more detail, the better. And I know that, you know, you didn't want to get in the weeds with every little detail, but at the same time, more detail would be great. And then to know that you are interested in coming before the commission to speak, because we're hesitant to ask, you know, everybody's got things to do and they're very busy. So, you know, we only felt like we would ask if it was necessary. So I want to thank you both for all three of you for coming up and speaking about this, because the more information we have, the better decision we can make on this. So I appreciate it.
Okay.
Councilmember Green would like to speak.
Okay, Brandon, go ahead.
Hey everyone, I'm sorry I couldn't make it there tonight. There was no way I was gonna be able to make the trek back from Seattle in time, so here I am on Zoom. Just a couple quick Pierce County Regional Council updates. So follow up from last month on the UGA issue. We got some more clarification from the GMCC about how the UGA swap would work. Basically, every a comprehensive planning cycle, which is every couple of years or every year, something like that. The county would open up for swap applications, and then they would facilitate finding other jurisdictions that you could swap with. Having said that, there's very little land out there to do any swaps, so I'm not sure how that'll actually play out. Just a quick skim of the language that they drafted. It looks okay. Having said that, we received the language on last Tuesday, and our Pierce County Regional Council meeting was on Thursday. So I requested that we didn't take action on it until I could take it back and and have it thoroughly vetted with our staff here. So more to come there, and I'll give you guys the language so you can look at it also. The only second update there, I guess there's a couple more updates. We passed the legislative priorities, and then the final update is I'll be the chair of the Pierce County Regional Council for 2026.
Woohoo.
Congratulations, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, is that it, Brandon?
He muted
That's it.
All right. Mackenzie.
I just told you guys I would bring back notes from the Citizens Advisory Commission that met on October 27th. I attended on Zoom, but could not get every little word. So I just had to ask Director Snodgrass of truly what we discussed. They started with funding on Miller Park. They talked about the success of the youth center, which honestly, in my experience, I went on a walk right after school. I got out last week and there were so many middle schoolers still there past 4 o'clock. So I just want to give my hats off to you guys. I don't know how you do it late hours, but it's awesome that that's available for all the kids. They were all getting along. They're all playing games together. So I just love seeing it. They also reviewed examples of wayfinding in other cities. And they're working on building a scope of this at a future meeting, so funding can be sought after. And then they brought back conversations of CLG, the Certified Local Government, just to make Buckley historic preservation. And they reviewed draft ordinances and really hope to bring this to council during the first half of 2026 because it is one of their priorities for their 2026 work plan. And then they just discussed their work plan for 2026. And I will not be on that committee starting next year because my term is almost up, but I just want to encourage whoever is going to join the Citizens Advisory Commission, be that voice for them, take back what they need from council, and really fight because they are doing amazing things there. And I think they're all amazing. So that's it.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. Anybody else? We've got Brandon. Kenny.
Are we gonna cancel the December 23rd study session? Or I mean, council meeting?
I was gonna put that on the agenda for December 9th, but if you guys would like to make a motion tonight to do that, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, we can do it on the 9th probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good thinking though. For sure. Okay. All right, well, with that, again, as Ron said, happy Thanksgiving to everybody and all your loved ones, so. That I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Bye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a nice Thanksgiving.